iPhone or Samsung? Samsung or iPhone? The world is divided. Some choose Samsung, some rather prefer Apple. This division in the world shows us clearly how far the Republic of South Korea has actually brought themselves. Having a tiny country such as South Korea, which is divided on its own peninsula, North and South Korea, as Germany once was. We see that these people have managed to bring us that far to actually fight. Do we want to buy rather a Samsung or an Apple phone? SubhanAllah, but that shows you how far they have managed to grow within the last couple of decades. South Korea was once a country that actually had to find itself as a country which had to actually define its own people. Who were the South Koreans? What is the difference between a South Korean and a North Korean? This all of course goes back to history. This video is sponsored by the 𝗘𝗦𝗟𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗬 program. For nearly 7 centuries, Ibn Khaldun's 𝗘𝗦𝗟𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗬 has been read and studied by scholars and students of history, sociology, politics and economics as the single most authoritative and astounding work of classical scholarship in the field of history. Embark on an enlightening educational venture led by Muslim scholars and teachers delving into Islamic history, sociology, economics and beyond. Engage with cutting-edge learning cues and multimedia components, allowing for a deeper understanding of the topics. Distinguish between the lies and the truths of the narratives told, between reliable and unreliable sources. Equip yourself with the skills to conduct deep research and build confidence to combat Islamophobia. Come and strengthen your Muslim identity today. Grab the first 20% of the course for free in the video description. South Korea's history dates back over 5,000 years, but its modern history begins with a division of the Korean peninsula between North and South Korea after World War II. The Republic of Korea is a country in East Asia which constitutes the southern part of the Korean peninsula and borders North Korea along the Korean demilitarized zone. The first kingdom was noted in Chinese records in the 7th century before the Common Era. Late 7th century, there was a unification of the 3 kingdoms of Korea into Silla and Balhae. The unified 3 kingdoms basically made one big kingdom in the late 7th century. In the 10th to the 14th centuries, 918 to 1392, Korea was ruled by the Goryeo Dynasty. Between 1392 and 1897, it was the Joseon Dynasty that was ruling the Korean peninsula. Between 1897 and 1910, there existed the Korean Empire. In 1910, it was annexed by the Empire of Japan. We know that Japan decided to actually side with Germany, with the Third Reich, and that led to World War II, which in the end Japan lost together with Germany, and its rule ended. Korea was then divided into 2 zones. The North Korean territory, supported by the USSR, the communist territory of the Soviet Union, and the southern part, which was supported and occupied by the United States. In August 1948, the southern zone became the Republic of Korea, while a month later, September 1948, the northern zone became North Korea, supported by the USSR. In 1950, North Korean invasion began the Korean War, which meant that for the upcoming 3 years, the country entered into a war which saw extensive American-led United Nations interventions in support of the South, while China intervened to support the North with Soviet assistance and support. This has left a trauma and a mark behind in Korean society, because clearly South Koreans cannot live with North Koreans, North Koreans cannot live with South Koreans. It is interesting to see how this conflict has actually influenced not only Asia but the whole world. Despite lacking natural resources, which is an extremely important factor, we see that this tiny nation rapidly developed to become one of the 4 Asian tigers. The name is based on the international trade and economic globalization. We see that South Korea has become a developed country, much more developed than many other countries in the fields of economics and trade. And we see that in Asia as well as in Africa. African countries as well as Turkey, for example, try to copy these 4 Asian tigers, specifically South Korea. South Korea is currently one of the largest exporting nations in the world and has one of the largest foreign exchange reserves in the world. It has the highest level of press freedom on the continent in 2021, up to nowadays 2023. South Korea is a regional power and a developed country, with its economy being ranked as the world's 13th largest by nominal GDP. It ranks 19th globally by Human Development Index, which is massive. And that's why many other countries in Asia and in Africa are trying to copy actually the success story called South Korea. That does not mean that this country doesn't have problems. Of course, it faces many challenges, and one of them, of the biggest ones, is an aging population. It has the lowest fertility rate in the world, which means that these people have to be taken care of. They will need people to take care of these people. They will need people to come into the country to support the payment of pensions, and so on and so forth. One of the world's fastest internet connection can be found in South Korea. The country is the world's 9th largest exporter and 9th largest importer. Its armed forces are ranked as one of the world's strongest militaries, with the world's 2nd largest standing army by military and paramilitary personnel. These are all superlatives for such a small country such as South Korea. South Korea has managed in the 21st century to become an exporter of culture, music, TV dramas, called K-pop or K-dramas. So we can see that even in the world of movies, you see that South Korea has developed in such a way that our children, even nowadays, watch Korean dramas and want to actually learn this language, which is not a massively big language. It's spoken amongst 50-60 million people in South Korea and an amount of population in North Korea. A phenomenon which is referred nowadays to the Korean wave. We see people all over the world, such as in Africa or in Eastern Europe, knowing about K-pop and K-drama. South Korea is known for its unique culture indeed, not only with regards to the Korean peninsula, but the whole of Asia. The aspect of Korean cuisine is something that should not be underestimated. We can find in London, for example, Korean restaurants selling nowadays typically Korean food, dishes such as kimchi, bibimbap, and bulgogi. South Korea is also famous for its traditional clothing called hanbok, which is often worn during special occasions such as weddings. The country of South Korea is currently facing some challenges, including an aging population and ongoing tensions with North Korea. However, the country has also made significant progress in areas such as technology and innovation. It is home to several global companies such as Samsung, LG, and Hyundai, which have helped to drive the country's economy. So South Korea has developed a reputation in the world, which has of course also drawn criticism on the one hand, but on the other hand, it has also gained a lot of admiration by countries that would like to reach the level that South Korea has reached within a couple of decades. If you want to support the channel, hit the like button and subscribe in order to see more of this kind of content. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Assalamu alaikum.